you can give me whatever seed form and I got you. It's the trust and vulnerability of giving it over, because sometimes that he doesn't like to look weak in any type of way. He hasn't gotten over that yet to where I am a safe space for him. He hasn't tested that. No matter what, at first he needed gentleness. Okay, I could do that. Let me be the gentle that you need, right? Let me try that out. Then you need this. Okay, so I am evolving in every way that you need to still let you know that it's safe to come on over here. Kevin still is working on making those steps to where I don't have to say, hey, babe, come on over here, to where he can lean in on this marriage and lean in on his partner.
Okay. Who
can get the job done. I mean, that is one of my best qualities, is to get the job done, you know? So I think it's still that, you know, we're only in year 2. I imagine, you know, we're going to keep growing in that area and it's going to be better. But
one of the things that Bernie and I had a discussion about, we were watching some TV show and it came up that about how men need to feel, they don't want to look weak in front of their woman. And she was like, pause. Heath, did you think?
I always do that. If something come on, I'll pause it. Like, Heath. No, it was that the one when it's saying when you come home, you want to, does a man feel vulnerable, want to be vulnerable with you? Or do you feel like you could turn off and be safe when you come home with me?
Yeah, that was that was a question too.
Oh.
To my answer with that was no.
Right. I remember you said that.
Because
explain why.
Vulnerability to me is not something that I strive for. Yeah. Because I work in where I work, if a system is vulnerable in the IT arena, if a system is vulnerable, that's a weakness. And you're always trying to shore up vulnerabilities. Yeah. And you're trying to mitigate risks and mitigate vulnerabilities. And so for me to be vulnerable is to be weak intentionally. And that just does not set well with my constitution. However, I do want to be transparent.
Yeah.
Which is different than vulnerability.
Yeah.
And so I'm fully open to being transparent. And so to come home and be in a safe space, and that's new terms that we didn't use when we were coming up. So coming home for there to be a safe space that I can then do what in? What am I going to be in? I don't know what I'm going to transform into. I don't have that definition.
But you also told me that's what it was. It was the show was talking about how men, particularly black men, you always have to be on outside of home because you know you have to be on, and you know nowadays women too, black women too. But when you come home, I asked do you get to turn that off? And he said no, because he's still got to protect and be thinking about me and always have me in mind of whatever.
Because as a husband, as a leader, you have to look at me in a certain way in order to feel like you feel safe and you feel like you can follow my instructions or guidance or whatever, or direction for the family. Because I'd be taking the family in different directions and it'd be like, I have to be mindful for what it takes for you to follow me.
Yeah. Exactly.
And so I know what that is now after 26 years. Right. And so because I know what that is, when I come home, I have to be that. Yeah. Now, the thing is, I don't have to become that. It's not something that I have to turn on. It's someone who I already am that I've developed over the years of figuring out what I needed to add to myself and things that were not successful to be with you and I needed to get rid of. Right. And so I've done the work to add things to my personality and my person and to get rid of things that are not helpful so that when I come home and I present myself to you, I only display to you the things that are beneficial for where we are at that point in time. And that's one of the things that I've learned how to do in terms of emotional intelligence. I've learned how to be the person that Bernie needs me to be for whatever thing that we need to get done.
I think we both had to do that too. Because the whole big family, small family, he comes from a 2-person family, I'm 6, whatever. The whole interrupt and talk and whatever. I mean, that was really bad for me. And I still try not to do it.
She's got a lot better.
I am much better, but it's not completely gone. But I'm much better than before. But we've had to do a lot of changing for each other.
But to the point that I was making about that turning off and being a safe space. Yeah. We were watching that show and she was like, do you feel like this is a safe space? I was like, no, because this is, I don't look for my home to be a safe space for me to like turn off from the world, because in here I have to be husband, leader, whatever it is that's needed for the moment. Like the other day, our mailbox is around the corner, and I was at work. I work from home, and Bernie's like, Heath, I got the mail, and so I had to turn the car off to use the mailbox key to open the mailbox, and my car won't start. So you're blocking the mail, and I'm like, shing. Okay, all right, I'll be right over. And then I was like, diagnosed. Okay, it's a battery. You need to get the battery jump the battery, and then we got to make a phone call to have your battery serviced, and blah, boom, boom. And I was like, done, and then I'm back to work.
See, I got married to make those phone calls. Seriously, I was taught when you're single, you have to take care of and do all that stuff yourself.
Yeah, sure do.
And I mean, because I had AAA, and when we got married, he said, "We don't need AAA." I was like, "Okay," because you're AAA now. Yeah.
And so to me, I didn't feel like, oh man, I got to go do this. It was like, okay, this is the mode I'm in.
Yeah.
Go fix this. And I don't like pat myself on the back for that, because it's what I had to do at the moment.
Yeah.
And it's who you are. I mean,
it's who I, that's why I have a whole bunch of tools and stuff in here. Like, why you buying tools? Because I might need it one day. Yeah, exactly. And so, and then as soon as we pulled the car in the driveway, I was like, okay, let me see how I can change the battery. And I got to go today, pick up a battery and then replace it. And then she went online and to YouTube and was like, well, maybe you shouldn't do it, because they say that if you change the battery and you don't keep it charged up, then you're going to lose all the settings in your car. I was like, you'll be fine. But I was like, hold on. Now I was like, okay, wait a minute. Let me pause on this, get it done. Yeah. Like, let me heed to the caution that she has about losing her radio settings. Because to me, I'll just program the radio settings back in order for the problem to be fixed this afternoon. But for her, go ahead.
And I went back on YouTube and looked up what goes wrong when you change the battery, And it wasn't just the radio. It's like the air conditioner is not working anymore. Now the heated seats aren't working. I was like, no, I don't want you to change it. We got to go to the dealer because I don't want my stuff all.
So then she was like, so you're going to call the dealer tomorrow? I'm like, yes, I will. So I was like, she didn't look up how to. So I'm like, okay, this is what it is. This is what it is.
Yeah.
But that safe space, I don't require that. Now, I mean, but if that's something that do you require a safe space?
I thought I did. I more so I kind of get into my own space when I need to get my me time.
But it's there. That's the thing. It's not
what,
that it's not
what
there.
Is a safe space that you're providing? What is the safe space that you're providing?
God in that space. So always pointing you back to God, pointing you back to, a scripture, whatever it is, right?
Is that the safety that you need?
God is always a grounding rock.
Okay, let me rephrase because you gave me a static answer. Is that the, when you enter into a safe space, do you need guidance from God, from your wife? God to talk to your wife and then to talk to you through her. Is that what you need?
No.
Yeah, okay. That wasn't necessarily it. Like, oh, God told me to tell you this. It's more so like, okay, like you can do this. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. Like you can do this. So
encouragement.
It could be encouragement.
Okay.
That's biblically based. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Biblically based encouragement.
Yeah.
Is that something that you are looking for when you looking for a safe space?
No.
Okay.
Okay. So in addition to that, love and touching.
Okay.
I feel like that is something.
Is touching your love language?
Touching is my love language.
Okay. Does that make you feel safe and warm and fuzzy?
What do you need to feel safe?
It does not make me.
Talk to me, baby. Okay.
The reason why I'm asking these questions is because it's good for you to know what that safe space is.
Yeah.
Because you said earlier that you want him to know that you are a safe space for him.
Yeah.
And it's good for you to know what that safe space is. I'm not trying to
no, great
do
point.
Anything. Yeah.
Great point. I feel like these aren't things that I am saying that I'm bringing. These are things in different situations that he's said that he's needed. Okay. So I'm listing out things. I think it's just based on whatever the so let me ask something,
Kevin. Let me ask you, what dynamic exists that brings safety to you?
Yeah, when I think about safety, I think having the space to work out whatever I'm going through mentally, physically, or whatever like that, with her just being around possibly. You don't got to be like not having a conversation about anything like that, but like your presence just being near me. So in case I do need that hug, that's something else. You're nearby. So
it's the peace and quiet for you to think through your thoughts with a encouraging, warm embrace.
That's a great way to put it.
Gotcha.
So Aaries, shut up.
If you want to see another clip of this episode, click right here. If you want to see the full episode, click here.